Welcome back to another reading, or as I've often said, welcome to another reading. Just as a quick reminder, my name is David. I'm a minister at Creative Life Spiritual Center. We are part of Centers for Spiritual Living. Before I was a minister, I was a practitioner, and before that, I was a member. And it took a process of, 2, 4, 7, about 8 years to become a minister, and then another 3.5 or so before they would let me get ordained. So it's a long process, but in the process, we get to study a lot of really good stuff. One benefits of that has been to help me teach world religions, because I learned a lot about different world religions as I went through my training, which was pretty good. So enough said about that. Today's message is about change. And yes, it's something that no, that's not true. It's something that a lot of us resist. I won't say all, because that's too broad reaching. So let's see what Reverend Kelly has to say about change. And depending where you're receiving this, on my Facebook page, on Prosperity Living's Facebook page, on Creative Life Spiritual Center's Facebook page, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, wherever it is you're receiving it, well, just know that you're getting the same information. So there we are. And if I sometimes forget that it's going out to the general public, yeah, forgive me. Change is movement in life. How about that? Change as movement in life. It always seems impossible until it's done. It always seems impossible until it's done. And that was Nelson Mandela. And he must have had lots and lots of times in his life when he just couldn't see the end of apartheid, but he stuck to it. And even more, he changed, as well as the whole situation changing, he changed. And he changed because he was able to go from being so violently opposed to the people who were oppressing him, the people who were supporting apartheid, to forgiving them. And then he moved beyond that, as most of you know, to becoming the first non-white prime minister of South Africa, and kind of reintegrating South Africa in the international fold, because it was kind of isolated because of apartheid. He and Mother Teresa and Princess Di, I often tell people, they are my heroes of the 20th century. There were lots and lots of good ones, don't get me wrong, but the three who exemplified change in themselves most, and also working for other people and recognizing everybody as equal, were those three: Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, and Princess Di. It's always impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela. And Ernest Holmes, this is something that most people don't think about. So far as law, that's capital law, is concerned, it doesn't know anything about big or little. In other words, the mind of God, the mind of the universe, the mind of the ground of all being, doesn't know anything about size. It just knows that something is. So it's often said that God, the universe, doesn't know the difference between $1 million and $1, $1 million and a penny. So, in other words, pretty well anything within the rules, the laws of nature are possible. And this is Reverend Kelly. She says, there's not much in life that is harder than change. And yet, change must happen before anything new can be birthed. This is stuff that we know. So in a sense, it's just a reminder, right? Change is necessary for us to grow and evolve. Absolutely, because if you don't grow, nothing changes. Nothing changes, you don't grow. The birth of anything requires the death of something else. That's true. When the sun goes down, the day has died, it's gone. But what does it do? It produces the night. And then the night goes away and it produces the day. Reverend Kelly goes on to say, the birth of my first daughter brought the death of my freedom and time as a childless adult. The birth of my spiritual exploration brought the death of a Kelly living in pain and discomfort. The death of responsible Kelly, who had a boring corporate career, her words, not mine, was required to bring about the birth of Kelly, the minister and the teacher. We have to let go of things for something new to take its place. And yet, we resist letting go. When we get scared, we tend to grab on tightly. Excuse me. When we get scared, we tend to grab on tightly, refusing to release what we have and what we're comfortable with. We resist change because it's uncomfortable and it's unknown. If you resist change, I ask you to play with the concept of change as the movement of life. If we aren't changing, we're inert. God, Spirit, the ground of all being, the universe, creates and expresses through us and as us. Our job is to allow that flow to happen. When we resist allowing change because we're uncomfortable or we are scared, we cannot fulfill our purpose as conduits of creation, or if you like, of evolution. Own the fact that you are unique. You express and create beautifully and differently. Every one of us is needed to create as only each of us can. So when you think about it in the broader concept, it's impossible for you to grow if you don't change, right? You're not the same person you were last year. You're not even the same person you were yesterday, but the change is probably minimal. Not always, but 99% of the time it's minimal. You're definitely not the same person you were when you were a teenager. You're not the same person you were when you were a child. You're not the same person you were when you were a baby. You've changed. And change is the order of things. A flower would never bloom, right, if it didn't change. So what Reverend Kelly's saying here is, look, change is inevitable, whether you resist it or not. There's change. So why not go with the flow? And then when you embrace it, you have some control over it. Anything that you allow to control you prevents you from changing. And whenever you decide, okay, I'm going to go with the flow, that allows you to grow. And in life, there's only two possibilities. Lots of famous people said, you either grow or you retreat. There's no middle ground. Is that true? Probably when you think about it, because everything's changing. Next week, starting Sunday, the weather here is going to change dramatically. And I personally do not like cold weather. I was born in a cold-ish climate, not northern parts of North America cold, but cold. So, oh, well, that's amazing. Well, one thing that's changing here is I didn't do anything, and something is printing from my printer. So maybe my wife figured it out. So, yeah, well, she must have realized how to print it. Well, that's cool. So if that's changed, Barbara has changed. She has realized how to print stuff from either her iPad or her phone, one or the other, which is good. Which completely threw me off where I was. So I think the message is simple enough in itself. I don't know, you can probably hear that, right? Stuff is printing here. So I'm probably going to end pretty quickly now because hopefully that's the end of the printing. I don't know. Well, Reverend Kelly's affirmations, and there's two of them. I delight in the sacred process of creation. What does that mean? Change. I open and release, allowing creativity to flow. I open and release, allowing creativity to flow. And that's another way of saying I embrace change. Is it easy? No. Is it simple to explain? Probably. But it's not easy to embrace. We don't always like it because we like to be in that comfort zone. There's a poem that I'll actually quote probably next time, which is called Comfort Zone. And it's about getting out of your comfort zone. It's kind of a cute poem. Not phenomenal, but it's good. So Reverend Lisa will be back tomorrow about 9:15-ish. Hopefully I can be back tomorrow around about 5 p.m. I'm a bit early today because my schedule, I've been really busy all day. And now I'm going to go to the gym and work out. And when I come back, I'll get stuck into some more work again. So thanks for watching wherever you watch from. And please give us your comments, give us feedback. Tell us what you like about these readings, what kind of readings you would like. If you want something other than this, hey, we can provide it. Just like now we're providing that midweek meditation by Daniel Mercadal because of people requesting meditation, which is kind of cool. Middle of the week, middle of the day, every week, Wednesday, 11:15, tune into a meditation and just let the world just go to one side for 15 minutes or so maximum. So anyway, until then, please take care of yourselves and please get ready for, if you live in this part of the world, please get ready for the upcoming really cold weather because we're not used to it here. The houses really are not designed for it. If you've got outdoor pets or indoor pets, make sure that your pets have got somewhere warm to go in this really cold weather. And also, as I said, take care of yourselves. So until next time, namaste.